Hi guys, I gotta fix me. Sorry. Okay, and we're back. My name is April. I am the dyer behind Mason Creations Yarns, and let's start off by saying welcome back if you're a constant viewer of my nonsense, and welcome if you're a new viewer of my nonsense. I got a lot of nonsense, no notes, so I might be all over the place today. Um, but we'll try to keep it kind of short. I have some, see, I have two new colorways going into the shop. I've got one finished object. I got a whip and a 3/4 finish object. How's that? Because it's over a hoe, but it's not a hoe, but it's not a faux. It's a show. I don't know. It's in between. Um, yeah, so I have some stuff to talk about that is like that is being worked on currently. However, um I have other things to talk about also, like future knitting plans, like what I want to do next year. Oh, hello person, goodbye person. Oh, what I want to knit on next year, and so on. So, because I did do my make nine, I did do my top nine for this year on Instagram. I did do my make nine, and I have decided that I'm going to make as many of the nine as I can. Hello, person. Oh, I can't see. Okay. Well, I'll have to switch it to my tablet so I can see what you're saying if you say anything. But anyways, yeah, I've done the whole. Sorry, I am switching to there. Uh, oh, I've lost my choo-choo train. It has disappeared from me. Um. Anyways, oh, my make nine. I have. Yeah, sorry, require concentration than I'd like to admit. Oh, of course, I'm not gonna be able to see anything. I don't think I can see anything because on my Kindle I can't look at anything. I brought it solely for the purpose of talking about my Make 9. So sorry if you say anything. My phone isn't gonna let me see the comments, I don't think. And oh, hi Sam. I can see it. Anyways, I was gonna talk about my Make 9 and other stuff. I just lost the train. I've not had enough coffee this morning. It's probably because my husband drinks most of it before I can get to any of it. All right. Anyways, let's start off with what I did finish. I did finish. This is what I did finish, and I did make it shorter than. Oh, just got blood out of the light. There we go. I did make it shorter than the pattern by total accident because the pattern is slightly confusing because you go here and then apparently I should never, when I'm knitting something like work, I should never watch any podcasts or TV or anything because I apparently missed the part where it refers you to another part of the directions. So yeah, but it'll still wrap around like a scarf, but it's more like those bandana scarves where the triangles down the front. So, but it's for my daughter and she's smaller than I am, so it might work better for her. It won't be this big monstrous like worsted slash bulky weight cowl that's like swallowing her whole. So I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, I cast on the second sleeve. Second sleeve has been picked up and has started to join this thing. Yay! I'm excited about that. This is almost done. I can't wait to have it done. I'm hoping to have it done this week. That would be awesome. That's awesome. And yeah, we'll talk about the Make 9 here in a minute. I just want to get through my my knitting stuff. Oh, and here's my whip. You ready? Ready? It's almost full sock toes this time. They got a little love this week. Not a lot, but a little. And I really like how this colorway is, so I might put this in the shop next summer, possibly. I'm not sure yet. But this is when I just kind of was playing around and I had an idea and I wanted to dye it up and see, so I dyed myself a couple skeins of it. Because I don't usually ever dye anything for just me. It's usually, oh, I'll dye an extra one for myself so I can knit it and see how it looks, and then it just goes straight into the shop. Um, so I try to keep most of my yarn stock for my customers. Every once in a while, I'll dye something specifically for me and me only, and I don't release it. And sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. But a lot of times it's just for me. Okay, we'll talk about the shop stuff, like the actual two new colorways near the end, because I have a feeling that people maybe don't want to see it, so it might be better to scooch it to the end, like right before I sign off of the podcast, because I don't want to kind of push people away. Yeah, that kind of thing. But here's a little bit of felting, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen this before I put the letters on it. It's not completely finished yet, but and it's probably, I don't know if it's backwards for you or not. But this is for my daughter, and I'm making one for my daughter, her husband, and my grandson. So this one is actually for my daughter, or for my grandson. And bees are hard. Just saying, felting a bee out of locks is a pain. But I forgot to shut that notification off. Whatever. Sorry. But this is just a little ball that, Christmas ball. And I'm going to put something on the back here. I'm not sure what. I'm thinking like maybe trees, or I was going to do a feather, but I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to put on there. So we'll just have to see what I'm going to do. And then I think I'm going to make her like a Rudolph one, and then I'm going to make him like a Santa one. Those are my ideas, but we'll see how they actually work out and whatnot. And as far as my make 9, I've heard a lot of people that are really up in, like, kind of up in sorts about the whole make 9. Oh, I can't go to make 9 yet. Duh. Oh, look. We're in optimal position. This is the finished spun. It's drying right now, so I don't want to take it down. This is the part of the finished skein I just finished spinning. So, yay. This will be dry probably in the next day or two. It takes a little bit longer to dry than just like regular roving, but you have to do it to set the twist. And I'm using this as a weight also for it, just because I did overspin a little bit, but it was pretty balanced. This one I did overspin, but this is also a chain ply, and it's a little harder to get the correct ply. So it's more overplied than overspun, but it was overspun and then I overplied. But this was just a 4-ounce braid, and I didn't have anything to play it with, so that would go with it. So I just did a chain ply just to practice chain plying, and this is how that turned out. Not too bad. It's still more of a worsted bulky, this one, but it's also 3 plies, and I was spinning at probably, my single was probably just over fingering, so it makes a bit of a heavy yarn. So that's my spinning. I put a new spin on the wheel yesterday, but I'm not, it's more just practice, the one I have on the wheel right now. Only because I'm waiting, because Naomi from the Doze Angoras, where I get my Angora from, the turquoise I showed last week and the week before, I had asked her if she had an extra bat, which she does. Thankfully, yay, I'm so happy about it. Because that's going to go to make my son a hat. So, so that way he wants a hat, and he wants me to make him like a full Angora wardrobe, because he's crazy. I told him, have fun with that, I'll make you a hat. I might make him a scarf or mittens or something like that, but I have to see what I have left for a hat. I probably have enough now on the bobbin, even if I just took it and set the twist as it is and made it a single, but I really want to have it be a two ply so it's a little bit warmer and also has a little more substance because Angora is super. I don't know how to explain it. It drifts apart really easily, and if you don't have enough twist in an area, that could be big trouble. I know with pure Angora, this stuff is blended with wool, so it's a little easier to spin. Pure Angora, you got to get it just right, and I am not that talented yet. I say yet because I will be eventually. The Ravelry group, we still have the make all the things challenge going on, which entails all your whips from the beginning of 2018 all the way until uh, the end of 2018 are accepted. But the object is to cast off everything on your needles or as much as you possibly can. Because I know some people have an insane amount of whips. So it's just for fun and just to kind of motivate to help you bust through your whips so that way when the new year comes you're not putting away your old whips and going, oh okay, I'll work on that later and then cast on a bunch of new stuff and never get to the old stuff, because sometimes we do that. I know I do that. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know I will cast something on and then I'll go, like, I have a second Find Your Fade that has been languishing for I think 2 years 2 years now. I did my first one. I did that in like record time. I think I did that one in like 3 weeks. And the second one, I was just kind of like, oh, I already did this. But I picked different colors and everything, and I really liked the colors. It was more I pick it up every now and again, and I have a feeling that's going to lead to problems because it's a huge shawl, and if I don't get it done, it's just gonna sit there and consume the needle. So I have to figure out if I'm gonna finish it or frog it. Um, but I usually go through my stash myself when I start seeing all my project bags fill up with projects, and I have bags that I've made, and when I get past the bags that I've bought into the bags that I've made and have to make more bags, then usually I make more bags. And then I have to stop and think I'm crazy because why am I making more bags? Not because I want a new bag. It's literally out of necessity. I need something to put this knitting project in. It's not because I wanted, oh, I saw this fabric and I thought I'd make a cute bag. No. Oh, I cast this on and now I need a new bag. That's more my speed. Um, However, I usually go through, once I hit that point, I usually go through everything and figure out, am I going to keep it or am I going to frog it? Like, I had to frog my, I think I had to frog my Pennywise socks, or no, I haven't frogged them yet, but I'm going to frog them only because I don't like doing one at a time. I decided that while I was making them. The only time I'll do one at a time, and not even them most of the time, because then I'll bust out my DPNs and I'll throw the cuff. Like, if I'm doing cuff down, which is hardly ever, I'll throw the cuff. I'll make one cuff. I'll throw it on a set of DPNs, stick it in my cake of yarn, and then I'll cast on for the next cuff, and then I'll slide them on to the same needles and I'll start. Because once you get the cuff done, you just start your knitting, and then I'll just do it two at a time. Mina Phillip has a really good video on the Knitting Expat. She has a really good video on how to do two at a time cut down socks, and that's where I learned the technique. So I can't take credit for it. Not my technique. It's hers. It's excellent. It works great. Because I already know I would get second sock syndrome. I would make one and then it would just like chill. It'd be like, hey, where's my mate? It would not happen. And I'd be like, oh yeah, you're not getting a mate. You're just gonna be a lonely sock. So that's just how my life works. And if I don't do them both at the same time, I have this weird thing in my head. I already know I'm going to mess up. I'm not, because I always forget to write stuff down. Unless I'm dying. I've gotten better at remembering to write it down when I'm dying. However, when I'm knitting, I have a hard time writing it down unless I'm designing a pattern. If I'm designing a pattern, then I'll remember to stop and write. But if I'm following a pattern, I'm not taking notes. Not unless I absolutely have to. Like for my sweater, I made the first the first repeat before the decrease, like 4 rows longer. So I noted, I jotted a little note in there about that. But I mean, unless it's going to severely alter the garment, and it's usually it has to be a garment because I would just be like, oh, okay, well, I have a pair of house socks that don't match because like one's like this much taller than the other one. I don't know. That's my whole thing in my head. I can't do one at a time socks because I already know I'm gonna mess up somewhere, and one's gonna be longer than the other, and they will look horrid, and I'll never wear them, and then I'll put all that work in for absolutely nothing. So, anyways, I am sidetracking myself because we were gonna talk about my Make Nine. Okay, I've had a lot of people get. Um, I've heard a lot of people say that they don't like committing to the Make Nine. And that's because they feel too much pressure to do them, like they're being forced to do those 9 projects. The way I see the Make Nine is like dream knitting. These are the 9 projects I would like to make this year. However, if I can't make all 9, oops, then I couldn't make all 9. But if I manage to make all 9, then I'll have 9 things that I really wanted to make. So this is what I want to do. Okay, these are my Make Nines. However, I know for a fact I want to make this skirt and this hat and that jacket and that scarf because that's illusion knitting. I really want to do some illusion knitting. I really want to add that to my skill set. So this is my Make Nine. So I have 4 projects that I definitely, or 5 projects that I definitely want to make. And I want to make those socks too because they're super cute. However, if I was only able to make 1 or 2 out of the 9, which probably won't happen because I'll be running things in tandem. Like I'll probably have this hoodie cast on with those socks, that skirt with that hat. I'm really weird, and I might make this before I make this though, because try to get that a little closer so you can see it without it pixelating out. That is the Pop and Sizzle shawl. It's beautiful. And I want to make that. I've wanted to make it since last year when I saw it, but brioche is extremely intimidating to me. But so was a fingering weight sweater, and I'm almost done with my very first one. So I think I'm going to venture into the brioche, and it's just brioche stitch. There's no like, she doesn't alter into anything. It's all brioche. So I think that'd be awesome. I'll probably work on the skirt in the warmer months, and definitely I'll work on those socks in the warmer months. I want to make the doe cardigan, but I don't know if I'll get to it. So, and I'll probably cast on the pavement sweater, but I'm not 100% sure. And of course, I can always see another pattern and be like, ooh, I want to make that. So my goal is, this is my goal, make 9. Yeah, I'd love to make all 9. Realistically, it's possible that I wouldn't make all 9. So I will definitely have, I definitely want to do the Harry Potter scarf that is, or shawl that's illusion knitting. I want to try that definitely. Some of this may be on my skill reach at the moment, so it may get replaced with another project that I have in reserve. It might, get backed up with something else. But I'm definitely going to make this cardigan right here. It's a hoodie. Oh, I should have held it the other way. This one right here is a hoodie cardigan, and I totally like the way it looks. It's super cute, and I have a bazillion colorways that look excellent in it, on top of new ones that are coming. So I'm super excited about that. And I definitely want to do the Hogwarts at Christmas hat. I might have my Christmas Eve cast on. Just saying. It may not even wait until 2019 to cast on. So that might get cast on sooner rather than later. So I don't know if that counts. So it might have to get replaced. See what I mean? Since I'm almost done with this sweater, I'm going to start casting stuff on. I'm going to get crazy cast on-itis because that's what happens. Every time I get a big project done, I want to cast on, cast on, cast on. I was already looking through my projects to cast on after I finished the shawl. Sorry, I just shook the table. That's bad. shouldn't do that. um I already wanted, like, I started shopping for going through my Ravelry library, seeing what I wanted to cast on. Like, I call shopping, usually it's shopping my own library. But I also go through the pattern index on Ravelry and I'm like, oh my gosh, all these new patterns are coming out. And then I was like, oh wait, I have a test net I have to cast on. I can have that done in like 2 weeks, no problem. It's only a one skein shawl, no big deal. Except for she has cables in it, and it's going to be amazing. I'm doing that one in my Sugar Plum Fairy colorway. It's going to be pretty. But she has, it's like garter and then lace, and then she's done a cable design with a butterfly. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be. And cables is one of the things I wanted to learn this year, so that makes me happy. So that's one thing off the new skills learning list. Chink. That I will be working on. Okie dokie. I have, oh, I ordered a loom. It's just a little like frame loom, so it's not like a big investment. It's not like super expensive loom or anything like that. It's literally like a frame. And I haven't yet decided if I'm going to add them into, like, when I get decent at it. I'm not going to like put my first weaving in there, you guys. I swear I won't. Unless it's really good. I mean, I held back putting any hand spun in my shop so far, and my hand spun's not too bad, as you can see, because this is all done in my hand spun. And these are my first, after I did my very first one, I literally put this all on my wheels. So this is my second through seventh spins on my wheel, and it's a little thick thin, but it's not bad. And so I've held back putting them in. And if I do add just saying, if I do hand spin into the shop, it's not gonna be a regular item. Like, I might pop a skein in here and there, but I'm reserving the spinning more for myself, because I do a lot of things and a lot of things wind up in the shop. So just saying, the joy of spinning, it's nice, it's relaxing. I can totally chill out and just let my mind go and just spin. And that's what I do usually. I just kind of like zone out, and because my spinning wheel faces my fireplace, so I kind of zone out and get to spinning. And next thing you know, I forgot to move my hook, so like I have singles falling up my spindle or up my bobbin, so it's freaking hilarious. But yeah, I want to also cast on those socks, but I want to finish these socks first, because I have a habit of casting socks on and then never finishing them. And I want to make myself, I think these ones are probably going to be shorties. And then I'll make the fuller length socks. But I also have to cast this on, because this is going to be the Hermione Everyday Mitts for my daughter. So I have to cast this on once it's dry. So that might cure a little bit of the cast-on-itis, maybe. Because by the time I cast that on, this will be done. So, or should be done. Never know. I'm not going to guarantee it. I'm not going to hold myself hostage to my plans, although I work amazing under deadlines, trust me. Because I did a 300-gram shawl in like 2.5, 3 weeks. So if I'm under pressure, oh, I knit like mad woman, because then I don't knit on anything but what I'm supposed to knit on. Like, I want to have my sweater done by Christmas. So I did do one thing. This is what I've done so far. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to cover you up with my sweater just so you can see, because I'm not little, so neither is my sweater. But I did just do a regular bind off on the sleeve, and no, none of my ends are woven in. I seriously am crazy and save it all for last, unless it's a blanket, and then I will weave in as I go. I did a rolled hem on the sleeve, only because the sleeve is, I made it oversized. So the sleeve is a little baggy, and I couldn't see the point of having ribbing at the bottom of an unfitted sleeve. So this is how that looks. Oh, and at the bottom, yes, I did the ribbing at the bottom, even though it's looser, because I think it's cute. I have to block it to where I have to stretch it a little bit to block it because it is a little shorter than I initially intended. But I didn't bind off in pattern. I didn't bind off in rib because I actually like the detail of the knit stitch facing out and it almost ruffling at the bottom. And I thought that would look really cute with leggings. So that is my creative designing that I switched on Andrea Mowry's pattern. I usually don't do much creative designing with her patterns, but this just little touches here and there I did with this one. And I'm not sure about the neck because it is a little bit lower, so I might actually increase the color a little more. Like I might put extra stitches to make it more of a bigger color. I'm not sure yet because I know she doesn't have a shawl color alteration because it would look really cute as a shawl color, but I'll obviously be wearing something under it. So, like a t-shirt or something like that, or a tank top, or something to keep my unmentionables from showing. That is how that looks so far. Oh, you haven't seen my Roy. Is this from Chilean Hands? I absolutely love these. I bought the whole set, an entire Harry Potter set. I bought them last year before, something like that. I've had them for a while. Oh, I think I already showed my Sanderson Sisters bag. It's one of my, yeah, I did. This is one of the Molly Klein bags. I got this over this just before Halloween. I want to say over the summer, but I think it was more like September-ish that I got it. Right before October, I think. Alrighty then. So we've talked about the Make 9. We've talked about my finished object, my finished spins, my felting work in progress, my knitting whips, my almost faux, my Make 9. Oh, Ravelry group. If you're new to the channel, the podcast does have a Ravelry group. I don't do show notes there because I'm not a good show notes keeper. However, I don't edit. I'm unstructured and my phone doesn't let me. I don't want to edit a live stream and I am unstructured and I try to keep it as structured as I can, but I live in an organized chaos. So therefore my thoughts are in organized chaos. Sometimes I get a little unorganized. But the Ravelry group, we have the finish all the things going on. There'll be prizes for that. So if you haven't joined the group, come over, join us, have fun, knit along with us, share with us, chill with us. And any ideas that anybody has for any cows or sows or fowls or any of the owls, put it that way. Pop them into I don't know that I've made a general discussion thread. I know I've made an introduce yourself thread. I'll have to go in and make a general thread. But pop in suggestions in there. Like, what do you want to see? Right now we have 2 year-long knit-alongs going on that will start on January 1st. So we have the sweater along, which it's going to be an entire year of sweater making. I can't show you Tinkerbell. She's dirty. My lip ring gets in the way, so coffee will drip down my mug, and I don't know. I call it Art Deco. So whatever. It's just awful. We're doing the sweater along, and then we're going to do a wearable along. And I don't want to name it. I just want to make those make-alongs because I want people that because I do have a few crochet projects that I really want to make this year. And they're bigger projects, but they don't take me very long. I made myself a full-size poncho with the shawl collar, and I don't know, I think it took me a month. So I want to be able to include everybody. So weaving, spinning, if you're going to spin for your project, spin. Or if you have a big project that you want to spin for, use that to, go on there. And I want to kind of, eventually I want to do a spin along where we have, uh, once we get enough people in the group, that is, I want to be able to have a spin along where you have, X amount of entries or whatever, everybody has X amount of, and your yardage and how many skins you got. Um, However, I don't want to really go based off yardage, only because if somebody is spinning up like 10 skeins of like bulky or worsted, they're not going to have nearly as much yardage as somebody spinning up like 5 skeins of fingering. So, just saying, I kind of want to make it fair. So maybe it'll be like a month long thing where it's whoever spins, the most in a month wins something. I don't know. Yay. See, I'm not quite sure how to do like a. I know I just finished doing the Sal Cal, which was for the night shift shawl, but I'm not sure how they do like actual spin-alongs. How do those work? I don't get it. Because it's like you're gonna have people making these. Do you have to lay out like, oh, it's only supposed to be fingering weight or DK weight, and you have to spin this much? I don't understand. If anybody knows how those work, please let me know. I would love to know. Because I haven't participated in just a spin along. I've done a salcal where it's a spin along and then knit along. So you have to spin your fiber for your project and then knit it. So I did that. I just have never participated in a full on spin along. So maybe I'll look for one of those and figure it out. But I wanted to have the sweater along and the wearable along be more like a make along. So that way you're not, I don't feel like I'm confining people to just one craft. So you don't feel like, oh, it has to be knitted, or it has to be crocheted, or it has to be woven, or it has to be out of handspun. It can be out of handspun if you want it to be out of handspun. It can be knitted if you want to knit it. It can be crocheted if you want to crochet it. It can be woven if you want to weave it. Hell, you can even wet felt it. Thought about that. Well, felting's messy, but it looks really fun. And you know what that means? That means I'm going to eventually try it. You know that, right? Okay. But I got to do weaving first. I have a frame loom coming, which means I'm probably going to practice doing wall hangings first. So that's going to be fun. And I've also seen where people have made squares on frame looms and then like made them all to like put them all together, and they made like big blankets. And then there's pin weave. There's so many different little weaving looms. Like there's little ones like this, like pin looms that are just literally have pins all around them. And they make little squares and then they make things out of those little squares. It's like quilting for yarn. It's awesome. I'm gonna eventually get a pin loom too, just because I want to try it. But I have to get a cheap one. My whole thing is when I start something, I have to go with the least expensive route. Only because if I tend not to like it, then I can gift what I bought to somebody else and not feel guilty. Oh, I'm not giving you something that just cost me like $200 or 3 or 4 or however much money. Because I don't care what anybody says. Crafting stuff, like, okay, polymer clay crafting stuff. It's not too expensive. It's not too bad. Fabric crafting stuff gets expensive depending on how big the project is. Anything you want to do with yarn is freaking expensive. Fiber crafts are expensive. I mean, outside of like car work, auto body stuff, my husband's into all that, so we have all that crap, and that's expensive. But to make your own yarn is expensive. My wheel was not brand new. It was secondhand because I looked at brand new ones and I was like, but what if I don't like spinning on a wheel? So I started off on a spindle, which there are two totally different beasts, just saying. And I saw Mr. Bunny, Naomi's husband, Mike, he had his weaving loom out and he was weaving on like a little cricket. And I was like, oh, that kind of looks interesting. Maybe I'll try it. I looked at how much one of those are. I don't want to put out like $200, $250, $150 And those are different price ranges for different looms from different brands. I have found like a couple rigid heddles for like $100, which isn't bad considering it's literally like half the price. And some of them were on Etsy, so I would probably go that way only because I'd be supporting an individual maker, and that's where my business is. So I like supporting small as much as I possibly can. Um, so I was like, dang, what other looms are there? So I saw a frame loom, and I was like, well, what can you make with a frame loom? So I looked up what you can make with a frame loom. Tapestry weaving looks pretty interesting. I think I will have fun with weaving. I think. So therefore, I spent like $15 on a cheapy frame loom, and I'm gonna see how I like it. I'll let you know. I don't know that I'll be doing any weaving until after Christmas because I have things to get done and probably shouldn't distract myself with an additional craft. I distract myself with all kinds of crafts. Like when my hands need a break, I took a break from knitting over the weekend, which does not mean I did not knit. It just means I knit less, which means I probably knit for 2 hours instead of like 5 hours. Saying. And that's throughout the day. It's not all in one chunk. Trust me, I cannot sit and knit for that long, all in one shot. Well, that's a lie. I can depending on the day. Like if I have stuff to do, it's not happening. If I have kind of a slow, relaxed, chill day, then it probably will happen because then I'll watch YouTube or movies and just knit, 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 knit. Um, but sometimes I felt while I watched that because I took up needle felting a couple months ago and it's super fun. I've created some really cute stuff and they're dorky and wonky and kind of look a little special. I'm trying to be a little PC here because I don't want to say the R word and might offend somebody. I don't want to offend people. Um, sorry. My attitude's blossoming. But I can make little stuff like this. Shh. Shh. I'm in my dining room. My son just walked in. So I'm watching him. Okay, anyways. Yeah, he's homeschooled, so I get to make constant eye contact. Do you want to say hi? Hi. Do you want to say hi? They can hear the cereal. They can't hear you say hi. Huh? No. It's live streaming, so they're gonna hear ya. I don't care. And anybody with children already knows how it is, so that's what it is. I'll wait until he's done pouring his cereal. Oh. He's doing the funniest stuff. Like he just grabbed the milk out of the fridge and he's like, because I keep staring at him. So he's like doing all this weird stuff. He's too cute. He's almost 14. He doesn't like to be called cute anymore. What? What? Just kidding. Rummaging through the silverware drawer. Trying to find the correct spoon. Him and his dad are really bad about that. I have to use specific silverware. Specific fork, specific spoon, specific knives. Me, I'm like, give me whatever it is and I'll just eat with it. I'll eat with my fingers if I have to. Not really. I don't like to, but if I have to, like barbecue chicken, it's on a kraken. Okay, noisy boy is gone. He's back in my room doing stuff on the computer. So we have come to that time. So I don't really have anything else to talk about. I've covered the Ravelry group. I've covered my Make 9. I posted my top 9 for the year. I've talked about yarn, finished spinning, talked about the stuff that we're doing in the Revelry group that I have set up. I'm thinking I want to do oh, that was one thing I wanted to think about. Except for there's so many sock alongs, I don't want to be like the big copycat. But maybe having my own will help me want to do it. Or I should just join one. I think I might keep it within my own Ravelry group. So I might do like, but that would go with the wearables. I don't know. Any other cows, by the way, any other cows or sows or whatever that can be worn, well, you can double dip like the sweater along and the wearable along. So, you know, you can win over here and you can win over there. I'm not going to limit people from entering and winning and enjoying. People get mad about it, then I might care, but I don't think anybody should get mad about it because everybody can do it, so it's not against the rules, right? I would join a soccer line. I'm ready to try one personally myself. A little challenge for the year. Oh, okay. Well, maybe then we can do like add that into the wearable along. So we could do like a separate one, but I don't want to do like box of socks because Kristen from Vulvine, from Vulvine, because she changed the name of her podcast, so it's not Yarngasm anymore. It's Vulvine Yarns. So she does her box of socks, but there's a lot of different makers that do a lot of different sock cows. So maybe we'll do that. And I don't want to limit it to knitting or crocheting because you can felt socks. You can do all kinds of stuff with socks. I'm not going to be felting because I needle felt, so I won't be felting a pair of socks. Could felt a pair of slippers though. But that's when you would knit them and then felt them. I'd have to do it with my hand spun. I'm gonna try it, I think. I think it'll be fun. Yeah, so that leads us down to I think just so we'll figure out if you want to do like a tin. I think a tin would be better for like a sock along. And I'm gonna have to figure out how many pairs. Like, should we do a pair a month? Because I know I can knit a pair in like 2 weeks, and that's being slow about it. That's not just knitting the sock. That's literally knitting the sock with knitting like 5 other things. And only working on the sock for an hour a day. I could knock out a pair in 2 weeks. Or that was the last time I knit a pair of socks. I knocked it out in 3 weeks, but I'd since gotten faster with knitting and a little more proficient on knitting on super tiny needles. So, I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. How many pairs in a year? Like, we could do, but I don't want to make it too stressful. Just a little challenge, not like stressful challenge. So maybe we should do as many pairs and see. I don't know. We'll discuss it, Sam. We'll see. We'll see what we can come up with. We'll put our heads together virtually over Instagram and figure that one out. Anyways, so onto shop stuff. So if you do not want to listen to things about my shop, which is 2 things, and it will be very brief. If you don't want to listen or hang around for that, it was nice seeing you, nice having you. Hope to see you again next time. If you are going to stick around, cool. Okay, cool. She just said she'll start brainstorming. Just have to figure out how many pairs of socks. I don't want to over challenge myself. Just saying. Okay, so shop stuff. Don't have a lot. And I'm not sure. I have not decided yet if these are the last colorways for 2018 or not. I might sneak 1 or 2 more in, but not very many more. Only because I have no idea what I'm doing for Christmas yet. So still have no clue about that. Still don't know anything. So anyways, this is the newer one. I showed it in the pot on Instagram. And this is Cliffside. And it's got a kind of like smoky gray base with flecks of fawn brown and green. I was driving to the store and was inspired by the mountainsides around me, and because I live in the freaking mountains. So this is what I see. This is usually what I see anyways. is stuff like this. So this is, this was what my brain said would look cool. So I think I'm going to make this into a hat. I'm probably going to make my first hat pattern with it, I think. Just one, see how it gets up, and two, so on. But this is, and don't mind these. Like, if you see these in pictures and stuff on Instagram and even sometimes in my shop photos, those are just ties that I use for myself to keep everything intact. They're not on there when you get your stuff. I clip them before I send them. But they also identify to me what base it is and so on. But that is Cliffside. These are going into the shop when I get done here, so all two of them. I act like I have a lot. That was last week. I had to upload 7 last week. This week, I made it easy on myself. I only did 2. I dyed 3. Well, I dyed 4 because I had to dye one for an order, but 3 new colorways, but only 2 I can show because the third one is not allowed to be shown until after the winner is announced for the Dyers Challenge that I entered. So I can't even show you. Although, I'm not allowed to show it. Because I asked and I'm not allowed to share it until after. But this was inspired by Hermione's Yule Ball gown from Harry Potter, and it is not that. No, there you go. That's more true to. It's getting blown out a little bit. Let me see if I can't. No, because it is darker. There you go. That's more its true color right here. It's this part, and then it gradiates into lighter, light, and even lighter, like how her dress does. And it has some super light pops in it, just a few really light areas, and that is goes with the whole gradation of her gown. So her gown goes from like super super dark at the bottom and then goes to pretty light, and there's some really 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 light spots, almost pastel-y spots up at the top. So that was fun. I actually want to add a couple different colors of this style of dyeing. I don't know what I'm going to call them yet, but I know that this one was literally inspired by Hermione's Yule Ball gown, and this will go into my Harry Potter collection along with the 4 house colors that I dyed up. And then I'm going to be working up new Harry Potter colorways coming up, and there's a few others I have ideas for, but I know I'm going to dye up one for New Year's. So I'll probably dye that. That will probably be, I'll dye it in 2018 and release it at probably the end. It'll probably go up on New Year's Eve. Only because but I figured that's how I'm going to do that. I don't really have this set schedule for dyeing. I do, but I don't. I usually dye depending on how I feel, because there's times where I have colorways in my head and they just spill out on the yarn, and there's other times where my well of inspiration goes dry. So I don't know. But there's that. I probably won't have a shop update next week because next week is Christmas. So those are probably the last 2 colorways that will be in the shop for 2018. I'll probably just call it that so I don't stress out, because I don't know if I'm going to be here. So I might be able to dye up one for 2019 and have it ready, like photos ready, in case I'm not home. So that way I could at least put it in the shop and then ship it when I get home. Anyways, enough of shop stuff. That's all I have. I've kept y'all hostage for almost an hour, so skedaddle. I know I got stuff to do. Y'all probably got stuff to do. So it was nice seeing you. Hope you come back and visit me again. Hopefully I'm not killing you, boring you to death. And hopefully I'll have more finished objects next time. And I probably won't podcast next week. So I'll be seeing you after the first of the year. So until then, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and enjoy your holidays with your families. Be safe if you're going out of town. I'm smacking my yarn around. be safe if you're going out of town. And like I said, hope y'all have a great Christmas. You're going to see my finger maybe. No. Okay. Bye. Bye.